It's a joy to have you again joining us on our discussion here on the Leadership Challenge show here on EBN TV. We are glad that you've been a keen follower of our program, and we always treasure your feedbacks. Through your feedback, we've been able to know the views of those who are watching, and thank you so much for all the time being together with us. It's another wonderful time to engage again into a discussion on the leadership, especially the leadership of this country. We are entering a very critical stage towards the electioneering of next year, because next year Kenya is going to the polls, a general election, looking for leadership at various levels in our country. And here on EBN TV, we are committed to transforming the kind of leadership that we have in this country so that people will see the benefits of leadership. Today, we strike another conversation again on leadership versus politics, because we are now on the road, the path to 2022 general election. We are glad that our friend and Pastor David Kamau is again with us in our discussion today. Welcome, Pastor David.
Thank you, Reverend Kavoi.
Yes.
I am quite happy to be in this discussion today.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we want to hear your feedback talking about leadership versus politics. And at the bottom of your screen, you are finding a number there. You can talk to us, let us know your views and what you feel about the topic of discussion today. David, I want to begin by asking, in terms of leadership, we are not afraid now to talk, because formations are out there.
Correct.
We know who has declared interest for the leadership of the top seat in this country. Yes. And we wanted to review just shortly how the formations are looking like. We are sure that, and we know that the president is finishing his second term. Correct. He will not be on the ballot again. So now we are looking at people that are coming up, so that now we can delve into the discussion. How are the formations looking like in our country?
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend Felix Kavoi, for that question. Right now, we are seeing a lot of many things that are happening in political arenas.
Yeah.
We are finding there are some few people who have made the decision that I am going to vie for the presidency and with this party. Others are still struggling, because we can see we have UDA, where it is actually known that the presidential candidate is Honorable William Ruto. Yeah. And then we have the ODM. Yeah. Right now it is not very clear, but we can see the trend that is taking. So most likely it is Honorable...
Do you think it can be otherwise?
The chances are...
Nil. Yeah.
I think it is going to be Honorable Raila who is going to take the pot. Yeah. But I also, there is a bit of some few issues which are happening, especially at the president quarter. Yeah. Whereby he is also trying to bring in the NASA.
Yeah, the OCA.
The OCA, you see, these people are in NASA.
Yeah.
So he is actually trying to bring the OCA. They divided themselves from ODM. Yeah. But I think there has been a lot of push for the OCA to be able to join the ODM. Yeah. And whereby still there is a lot of talks and many discussions which are moving on. Some of them you hear today, some people saying I am going up to the presidential level. But I think time will tell exactly how the formations will be. Yeah. But right now, I know there is a lot of pressure for actually having one presidential candidate between OCA and ODM, who are actually going to fight the main person who is in the UDA right now.
And you know, as you talk about these guys that are taking the top challenge, a challenge for the top seat, we know how much is going to affect the rest of leadership.
Correct.
In this country.
Yes.
How do presidential candidates usually affect the leadership that we have in other levels of this country?
Actually, that is a very critical position.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that you can remember there is a time people used to say that we are voting for the suit.
Yeah, the three-piece suit.
So right now it is actually like 6.
Yeah.
Looking at the positions.
Yeah.
And that's where people make very many bad mistakes.
Yeah.
Because they don't choose leaders, they choose parties.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you choose party instead of choosing leaders, you find that you have put someone who is not right for this country.
Yeah.
And that really affects the people in a very big way, because you'll not get leadership from the people that you have chosen.
Yeah.
Right now, as we speak, there are so many people who don't know who their MCAs are, even as today. And
even today.
Even today.
Yeah.
And we are coming to the end of this
term.
But many people don't even know who their senators are. All these kind of things are happening because you didn't choose a leader, you chose a party. And that is what really affects, because if you have a preferred presidential candidate, you just now keep on hearing people saying, if you don't give them the MCAs, if you don't give them the governors, it is going to affect how he is going to manage or she is going to manage the government. And therefore people always go and say that I don't even want to know. As long as I put the president, all the other people, I don't care. They tick the parties and parties, which is a bad thing.
So now today we are talking about leadership versus politics.
Correct.
I want you to briefly, taking the Kenyan scenario,
Yes.
how, because we have established it in previous discussions, that the leadership is so different from politics.
Correct.
Although now, at the end of the day, we get leaders through politicking.
Correct.
And if we are not careful, politics can lead us to have very wrong leaders.
Yes, yes.
So looking at the Kenyan scenario and the topic of today,
Yes.
just analyze it a little bit.
Okay. Thank you. This topic is quite important,
Yeah.
because many people keep on not getting to understand the differences between leadership and politics. They always keep on mixing them. But I would want just to read one verse from the Bible, which is going to be able to give me the basis on explaining the differences between politics and leadership. And this is from the book of John, chapter 10, reading from verse number 11 to 14. The Bible says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. So that number one is actually sacrifice. That is, if you are a leader, you must sacrifice for the people that you are leading. And that is what the Bible is talking about, laying down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd. And most of the political people are hired. So they are not shepherds. And that's why you'll find that they will not lay down their life for the people they lead. Because they are hired for a certain period of time. And after that time, they just they get out of the scene. And therefore, they are not so much concerned about what is happening. So that's why the Bible is saying that the hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. They will not take responsibility. So if you look at, well, then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is hired and cares nothing for the sheep. Now, looking at politics from what we have read here. Politics are people who are hired. They really don't care much about what happens in the sheep. And as we continue with this discussion, you'll be able to see some of these factors. When we say that they don't care, you will be able to see it. But if you are a leader, and Jesus Christ is a good example of a good leader, a true leader, he is concerned about the flock. He is concerned about where they go to graze. He is concerned about the safety and security of the sheep. And that is the difference. Therefore, in terms of defining the leadership versus politics, it is actually based on two things. One, responsibility, and number two, the sacrifice.
Yes.
Leader will be responsible enough for the people that he leads, or she leads. And number two, will be able to sacrifice some of their interests for the sake of the people that they lead. But when we come to politicians, they are full of their interests. And that's why sometimes you will find you have like you have the CDF. You find that some people will actually take even the CDF that is supposed to benefit the people that are following them. It is because they don't care about the sheep. They are hired. And therefore, we would say that politicians are just people who are hired, but they do not have the people at heart.
Wow, I think you are bringing out a very crucial understanding of leadership. That a good leader is a shepherd.
Correct.
He will take care of the flock.
Yes.
A politician is an hireling.
Correct.
The King James Version calls an hired man an hireling.
Yes.
And he's just hired for a short time, and all he's looking for is salary.
Correct.
Is pay.
That is it.
Yeah, and he does not care about the flock. I think this is very crucial. And I think I will want you to weigh in on the politics, how politics will affect the leaders that we have. Yeah, because now we are going that way, and we are discussing this so that we may inform the voter. And also, if we are saying the right thing, is a prayer offered to God. The politics of this country. Briefly describe the politics of this country and how we have been doing politics, and whether this politics we have here, the brand of politics that we have, whether they can really help us to get good leaders.
So, politics that we have in Kenya right now.
Yes.
It is actually what we call politics, in the sense of it is politicking.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you realize is that when you politic, there are some few things that get out of the window. And number one is that if you are politicking, you lack the principles and values.
Yeah.
So what we are finding is that the politics that we are having right now in Kenya, it is lacking in terms of principles and the good values. And that's why you'll find that, like today, what is happening in Kenya, there is so many people who are coming together so that they can win a position. But it is not that because they know you are the best person for this seat. You are the best person to be in my team. So what will happen is people who are not good people are going to come into politics, into my coalition, because I know they are strong in shouting. I know they are strong in just maybe the people follow up. People will follow them up. And therefore what will happen is that you will find long people coming into different camps.
Yeah.
And therefore when you want to implement things, even in this country, it becomes so difficult because in the first place, you did not bring the right people who have the shared vision and the mission of what you are doing. They have no shared value. They only came in because they are able to deliver some numbers. So when they are able to deliver some numbers, we forget some few things. What is the character of this person?
Yes.
What is the principle of this person?
Yeah.
And I would give you a very good example about one leader in Kenya who is very principled. And this is one leader who is changing exactly the politics of this country. And this is Honorable Martha Karua.
Yeah.
Martha Karua has her own principles. There are some few things that she will not do because of politics. There are some few alliances she will not get into because of politics.
Yeah.
She says, I would rather shelf my ambition rather than being found with people who have questionable characters.
Yeah.
And you find one of the things that you realize is that even recently, I think you heard her talk about that there are some few people, even the ones who are being called the two horses. She said, I will not be able to move with this person. And she said, why I can't move is because my values and my principles are not aligning
with this other
with
big
this
person. No
yes.
matter what cloth he has.
Yes.
Yes.
He may be famous. He may be somebody who is popular, but I don't care the popularity that this person has. I have to go into this politics with the right values. I have to go into this politics with the right principles.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what is affecting this country today. Because there are no values that we are fighting with politicians.
Wow.
What they are doing is they are looking at this person is able to deliver some votes. Whether they are thieves, whether they are corrupt,
yes,
whether they have been killing people, they don't care at this moment.
Yeah.
All what they care is numbers. And this is a bad politics for Kenya. We must get to a politics where value becomes our fundamental thing. That if we find a leader who is corrupt, a leader who is actually mentioned in the things that are not helping this country, leaders who are mentioned in misusing the CDF and other resources.
Yes.
This time, we need at least some few leaders, like Honorable Mother Karua, who are going to start and say, I am against this. It doesn't help this country. It is a position I will not take. But most of our leaders, because they are looking at their own interest and not the interest of the people that they lead, they will go for positions and they will actually even combine with dirty people.
Wow, wow, wow. I think, my dear viewer, you are hearing that. And our quest is good leadership. But we are seeing the evidence of bad politics, the infighting. So when we return, we will go deeper into this conversation. But I pray you don't go very far. We will be right back. Thank you so much, Pastor David.
Thank you too.
We are glad that you are watching this program. Thank you for staying together with us in our conversation today. Before we went for break, we saw the dangers of politics spoiling our chances of getting good leaders, leaders who are visionary and leaders that can deliver. David, I will want you to weigh in on this one because you talked about the top guys that are running for the top position of this country.
Yes.
The kind of people they are picking, sometimes they may not pick them because of the qualification.
Correct.
But they will pick them because of the hype they have, the name calling, the loudness of their argument, and they would not care.
Correct.
As we press on, do you really think Kenyans can tell who is who at this point, and yet the election is less than a year away from today?
Actually, thank you, Reverend, again. Right now, I would say it is not where we used to be some few years back.
Yeah.
The politics of these countries is changing.
Okay.
Whereby sometimes you can see the things that is happening even in Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, if a president who is actually from Mount Kenya, if his student said something, you would find that everybody is following what the president is saying.
Yeah.
But right now you can see there is a bit of a change to the extent even the president, he is not actually coming out clearly and saying, I am supporting this person and I'm not supporting this.
Yeah.
He will keep on saying things but he doesn't have now the 100% authority to tell people what they are going to do.
Yeah.
This is because people have actually come and scrutinized the people, the leaders who are there.
Yeah.
And they know who is a leader who can take them somewhere.
Yeah.
And they know the leaders who are just politics.
Yeah.
They are politicking, and there is really nothing that they can do. The question is,
yes.
Reverend, we have been having all these leaders that we are talking about.
Yes.
Let's say even, for example, the 2 horses that people keep on talking about.
Yeah.
And even the Oka group.
Yes.
These people have been in leadership for a very long time.
Very long time indeed.
They have been members of parliaments.
Yeah.
They have been prime ministers. They have been assistant prime ministers. They have been vice presidents.
Yes.
So there is really nothing much that they can tell us that we don't know.
Yeah.
We already know what they performed.
Yes.
If, for example, it is you had like Kibera.
Yeah.
Let's get even to Kibera.
Yeah.
We already know who was the MP for Kibera for quite some time.
Yeah.
How many things did he deliver for the people? And you see, the problem with politicians is that they overpromise and they underdeliver.
Oh, yeah.
They overpromise and underdeliver. A leader will underpromise but overdeliver. And that is the difference. They will say, I am actually aspiring to achieve this, but they will work in making sure they get more than what they have told the people.
Yeah.
But what is happening with most of the politicians right now,
Yes.
they are speaking things, yet during the time they had the authority and the power to be able to do something for the people, they did not do it.
Yeah.
So Kenyans right now, they know. And even some of the leaders now, they can't be trusted.
Yes.
Kenyans have gotten to a point, they are getting enlightened to the fact that they can tell this is a genuine leader, this is not a genuine leader.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at the thread, if you go to where they are going for their politics, they are campaigning, you find that all of them, they are given time. They say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
But after that, people already know what they are going to do.
So according to you, you think Kenyans know what they want?
Quite a number now.
Yeah.
They already know
Yes.
what they want to do.
They know what they want to
They
do.
want to know because they have tested these leaders
Yes.
for some times. And I heard some few people talk, and they say this time we are looking at the track record. Don't tell us so many things
Yes.
that you are going to do. Tell us what is it that you managed to do because you have been in leadership.
Yes.
This is how we are going to measure you.
Yes.
Because we have known that you are people who keep on promising, but
Yes.
you don't deliver. Some of the villages, they were told, we will give you roads,
Yeah.
we'll give you water, we will educate the children.
Yes.
But how many of these things are happening in our villages?
Uh-huh.
And these are the things that people are saying, wait a minute, right now, we are not where we used to be.
Yeah.
And therefore, I feel, for quite a number of people, they
Yes.
already know they are starred.
Yeah.
And that's why I started by saying, you may find even the president, he is not doing some pronouncement.
Yes.
Because he can already see the threat that these are not people just to tell them,
Yeah.
follow this direction, and they follow.
So the Kenyans have a stand.
They do.
The question is whether what they see as the right leaders, the people they consider to be the right leaders,
Yes.
whether they will prevail over the wave,
Correct.
the political waves.
Yes.
And it is good that we talk about it, because now Kenyans are left there. Everybody is saying what they want to say.
Yes.
And Kenyans appear to know what they want. But there is always all this talk of the incumbent, the government in power, how it can affect the outcome of the next president,
Yes.
the elections for the next president.
Yes.
So according to our brand of politics, and do you think the will of Kenyans will see the light of day?
Let me tell you, it is a difficult thing, but it is possible.
It is possible?
That's where we say there is nothing impossible, especially with God.
Yes.
Why I am saying it is possible is, this is not something that we have not seen.
Yes.
You remember 2002?
I remember.
There was a wave.
There was a wave.
There is a time that people got tired about a certain leadership.
Yes.
And they said, we must change this kind of leadership.
That's true.
And you know, even when the government was behind one leader, every other person, the people, they came and they said, we are not for this. We are going to change. And you remember even when people were campaigning for the former president,
yes, Mwai Kibaki.
He was actually quite unwell. You remember even for quite some time.
Yes.
Even when he was choosing the cabinet.
Yeah.
He was doing it when he was at home.
But you know, Pastor David, people will say it is because of one individual who said Fulani Tosha, or was it the decision of the people? People were tired, or it is because one person endorsed another?
I can tell you one thing.
Yes.
That this Kenya is very big.
Mm-hmm.
And people have different opinions.
Yes.
And therefore, there is no one single person who can be able to change the mind of everyone.
Yeah.
And therefore, we would say that everybody is important.
Yes.
In terms of delivering what they delivered.
Yes.
But we cannot actually start and say it is one person who actually
made that victory.
And the question
for Mwai Kibaki.
Yes, and
yes.
The question is, if it is one person,
yeah,
why is it that they had a Pentagon?
Oh.
Why is it that they were getting people, strong people from different regions?
Yes.
They needed actually other regions. So if it was one person, it would only be...
Because there is this notion that if so-and-so does not endorse you, you cannot make it.
Let me tell you, right now, by the way, it is a dangerous point in terms of endorsement.
Yeah.
And
because of where Kenyans are.
Where Kenyans are.
Yes.
One of the things that is very critical is that Kenyans don't want to hear about projects. They want to hear about leaders.
Yes.
And therefore, if you don't allow them to make decisions about their leaders, you will find that you can surprise yourself. Because they have gotten to a point whereby they have seen the need for good leadership. You find that many things that are happening right now, it is because of bad leadership.
Yes.
And therefore this is making people actually to start reasoning and saying, why is it that we are where we are? It is because there has been challenges in terms of the leadership.
Yeah.
So the same leadership cannot come and pronounce anything much, and people are comfortable about it.
Okay.
You find like this is the first time that we are having the top leadership is fighting one another.
Yes.
It is actually the cream that is supposed to be showing us the way.
Yeah.
But they are the people who are fighting every other time.
So let us pursue the line of the Kenyan voter.
Yes.
And the desire of the Kenyan voter, the will of the Kenyan voter, and the prevailing situation. So you believe if Kenyans are tired, that is it, they will elect the person they want?
I can tell you, they were there, they got tired, they did not...
So they did it before?
Yes, they did it
and
before.
They can do it again?
They can do it again.
Yeah.
And right now, I can tell you, people are getting tired with the people who are already right now the presidential people.
Yes.
And they are saying, look, what is it that is new that you're going to tell us? Because you've been here and you have not done so much.
Yes.
For example, you tell us you're going to fight corruption.
Yeah.
You have been in this. What is it that you have done to fight this corruption?
Yes.
And these are the things that Kenyans are actually asking themselves. And that's why if you fight at the way, if Kenyan politics continue the way it is doing, you find that if, for example, I think even the last 2 days,
yes,
Honorable Mudavadi was at Roilo.
Yes.
People were happy listening to him as he continues to say what he is going to do.
Yeah.
Honorable Raila goes there.
Yes.
People are happy. They listen to what he is going to say. There is no people who are really, even if it is only packets of small places where you hear that people are being beaten. Yeah,
or throwing stones.
Or throwing stones.
Which is really very backward.
Yes, it is some few pockets.
Yeah.
But not very many places.
Yes.
Right now, people are saying, come and tell us what you have done.
Will,
and what you are going to do.
Track record.
Track record. And we can tell that you are just politicking, and there is really nothing much you're going to deliver.
Yes.
This is the way Kenya is actually, if I look at it,
Yeah.
it is actually changing in terms of the way we do politics.
I am really interested to know some of the things that we as Kenyan voters, we can do right now to ensure that our will carries the day in 2022.
One of the things that we need to do as
Yeah.
a Kenyan voter, it is that we must get out of what we call the popular initiative, populism.
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 Yeah.
Whereby because someone is termed as popular,
Yes.
you just go and vote for them. We must go to value-based politics.
Yes.
Which, when we go to value-based politics, we are asking ourselves, what is it that when we look at your manifesto, because most of the Kenyans are educated, by the way.
That's true.
They can be able to look at your manifesto and they tell you, you are just speaking stories. Let me give you a good example. One, if you look at some of the things that this government had said it will do,
Yes.
it is actually giving money to the aged people.
Yes.
And this program has been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
But there is a point where it reached, and people, the aged people, were not given that funding for quite some time.
Yeah.
And they struggled. I think even today they could be in arrears.
Now they get after many months.
After many months.
Yeah.
And you fight, you are saying...
My mother is in that program, so I know what is happening.
So look at it.
Yeah.
So when people, Kenyans, look at that, they will be able to say, these guys are lying. When you tell us you are going to give us 6,000,
Yeah.
or when you tell us you are going also to give us a lot of money, like 100 billion,
Yeah.
you are going to give to us, you are going to put it on young people and women. You need to tell us exactly where is this money coming from.
Yeah.
Because right now the country is struggling. Right now we are actually in debts. So you need to
Huge
tell us.
debts.
Yes, huge debts.
Yeah.
So what these leaders need to tell us, the politicians need to tell
is
us, is how are we going first of all to balance the equation?
Yeah.
Because we are having big debts.
Yeah.
If we look at the monies that we are generating in this country, all the monies right now, the KRA is generating. If we don't change the way we do, it is going to pay debts.
Yeah.
Whereby right now we are fighting, even some of the ministries, they are being paid by monies which is borrowed.
Yes.
So how would you be talking about an economy whereby you are borrowing people to monies
To pay salaries. Yeah.
It is a bad thing. And therefore those are the things that we want to hear. You are telling us these are the things.
So these presidential aspirants should tell us exactly how they will fix that.
Those are the things they need to tell us. And let them be real. These are the budgets.
Yes.
This is what we get.
We want to hear figures.
Yes, we want to hear figures.
Yes.
Because I can tell you that we are getting around 1.7 trillion from KRA.
Yeah.
And then we are actually coming with a 3.6 trillion budget.
Yes.
So you need to tell us, how are you going to
bridge the gap?
These things?
Yes, yes.
And those are the things that Kenyans are asking. So even if you keep us giving us promises, these promises sometimes, they don't really excite us.
Wow, wow, wow. And we are coming to the end of this second session, and it is good to know that we are at a very critical place. And before we close this session, I think all of us here in studio, we need to urge Kenyans to register as voters. We have like now 2 days remaining or 3 days remaining, something like that.
Yes.
2 days remaining. So wherever you are receiving this program, make sure your son and daughter who finished university, who finished Form 4, that they have an ID. Let them go and get votes. That is the only way we can ensure that we have the right people. At the same time, David is encouraging us that we must make sure that we hear how these people will fix the problems. Not just to tell us we will pay all the debts. Tell us how where you'll get the money from to pay the debts. Give us figures. And this is what Kenyans are looking for. We take a short break. We will be right back. Welcome to our third round in our conversation and discussion today, leadership versus politics. And we have received very good ideas and analysis from Pastor David here on this show. And we are going to be realistic in this third session, and we must say things as they are. Because we are looking at how Kenyans can have the leaders they want.
Correct.
And make sure that politics do not interfere with the quest for Kenyans to have leaders that can deliver on the programs and promises and the visions that they have. I will want you to weigh in a little bit on, because now people are going to fight one another on issues of corruption. This one is corrupt. This one is the one who has stolen. In fact, right now, there is a trend that is going around all over. People calling this is a thief. We can't elect a thief. And then we are left wondering how many other thieves who are covered and are out there. And yet we know the president clearly said that we are losing to the tune of 2 billion. And the thief that is being said is not mentioned among us these other thieves. Are we weaponizing the issue of corruption? And are Kenyans going to be duped by lies that this is a thief, or this is like this, or this is a tribalist, or this is like this, and then we fail to elect the people we are supposed to elect?
One, it is quite unfortunate.
Yes.
That our politics has gone that low.
Yes.
And it is when people lack the vision in terms of the leadership.
Yes.
They will actually do everything based on pure lies, because politics, actually one of the thing about politics is that they mix truth and lies.
Yes.
They can be able to bring a lie and they sugarcoat it just to look like a truth.
Yes.
But a good leader will stand on the truth and the truth alone.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, and it is quite bad,
that
we are hearing so many things, especially from our top leaders.
Yes.
And I would say it is quite unfortunate, because for Kenyans, we don't want to hear about thieves.
Yes.
We want to hear about what did you do to make sure that these people stopped stealing.
Because also those who are blaming thieves have the power to stop it.
Correct.
Yes.
The power rests on them.
Yeah.
And therefore the question is, don't tell us we put you in those offices so that you are going to ensure that our things, our properties, our future is secure.
And corruption is tamed.
And yes, it is tamed.
Yes.
And therefore for you just to go and tell us that we don't like the way, in fact, I would say our president, some of those statements are quite unfortunate.
Yes.
He shouldn't be telling us about thieves.
Yeah.
He is actually confirming.
While he still wields the power as the president of the nation. Okay.
He needed to have gone, because you see, if for example they want to pass a bill, what they do is that they go and they just make sure they get the numbers to pass a certain bill. When they wanted to bring about the issue to do with BBI, they had actually to...
They mobilized numbers.
They mobilized numbers.
Even actually throughout all the county assemblies.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they were able to change what they wanted to change at that level.
So it is as easy as that, even in fighting and stopping thieves.
Correct.
Yeah.
If, for example, these leaders, the politicians, let me call them politicians,
yes,
if they are serious about bringing a change in this country, they ought to have done something that they are saying, because what happens with a leader, we led and we talked about Jesus Christ, is sacrificing.
Yes.
You can say that I would rather lose my position, but not to start and see corruption continue moving forward.
Yes.
Because what has happened is the corruption is moving, is continuing.
Is continuing.
And many other things are continuing in the long way. And we are hearing some things. If, for example, as the top leadership, they keep on telling us about we are losing money.
Yes.
They tell us about thieves. Where do they want Kenyans to go? Because we trusted them that they would be able to bring a change. They would be able to secure us. They would be able to safeguard our positions. But right now, we are not seeing that. And therefore, I would say it is quite unfortunate for such statements to be coming from our leaders.
And do you think this issue of name calling and the thief calling is going to change the decision and the mind of Kenyans on the person they want to elect?
If you look at our social media,
yes,
because there is a lot that Kenyans are doing, apart
yes.
from what the government is doing,
yeah.
you will find that every other day they are doing their own analysis.
Yeah.
And they will be asking you, and many people keep on asking those questions.
Yeah.
They give you 5 people and tell you who will you vote for.
Yeah.
And you see, we are getting information, some of them from the government, but people are also doing their own. And you find that they are telling you, this is the thread that we are going to look for. Because, for example, and I would say, when the president was outside this country, he was actually, and there was a mention in terms of the capital flight in other countries. And you know, I remember when I listened to the media, President had said that he is going to come and give the right position about that money that the companies that are actually out of the country.
Oh, about the Pandora Papers.
Yes.
Yes.
When the president came, how much information have we gotten about that position? We have not gotten any information, even up to now. And one question that people are asking is that if, for example, we are not able to get the truth about some of the things that have been mentioned, how would you tell us that there are some few people who are not clean and others are clean? Because you see, it is like we are on double edge. You are here and you are there. You want to tell us some few good things here, but when it comes to things that are challenging your position, you don't want to tell us. And therefore, I would say it is something that will not change the Kenyan way of thinking.
Let's be a little bit narrow now on this matter, because we know a lot of the thieving story has been heaped on one presidential candidate. And I talk as a layman when it comes to politics. And but I have eyes, I have brain, I can think on my feet, and I can analyze situations. This story of calling one candidate a thief, this man has not really been operating from his office for the last 5 years.
Correct.
We are talking about the deputy president, who has shown, and who is a leading contender of the top seat.
Correct.
But everybody is like saying this is the thief. And in the last 5 years, it appears that we have lost quite a lot of money, including the KEMSA money, which nobody is mentioning. The COVID millionaires. Nobody is talking about that. And yet we are attacking a man who has not been operating from his office, who has not been overseeing anything, and his functions have been given to other people. And yet we still call him the thief. Can David, honestly, sincerely, I want to know who has been stealing in the last 5 years, and we want to hear who has benefited from all this money. And please help us, because really we want, if candidates are going to win, let them win fairly, but not somebody just cooking a story to mudsling another candidate. Yes.
Let me tell you, Leverett, this government, the Jubilee government, it has been there for the last 9 years.
9 years.
You cannot tell me that it is only within the last few years that some few people, as you have said, like the deputy president, has changed to be a thief. There is a time that he was your darling. You are actually putting on the same shirts, the same ties, and you could call one another brothers during the first term. But when it has come to a point where we call a handshake, he becomes a bad one. that one is already a suspect. And that's why we are saying we are lacking truth.
Yeah.
And I would say it is a position whereby Kenyans, and if leaders are listening to us,
yeah,
they need to know that Kenyans are watching and they already know the truth.
Yeah.
They know that this is politics. It is pure politics.
Yeah.
Because if, for example, you come, as you have said, there's so much money that has been lost.
The last 5 years.
The last 5 years. First of all, you need to tell us, where did this money go to?
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Because what you find is that we find people are being questioned.
Yes.
But after that, everything goes down.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you should not keep on shouting
Yeah.
and telling people that these are thieves. Because we know there are so many thieves.
Yeah.
We have seen Kemsa, we have seen many other places.
Yes.
You find there are so many things that are happening, yet you are not pointing these thieves.
Yeah.
They are in your government. You are not pointing. You are pointing only one person.
So in Kenya, corruption is very rampant.
It is very rampant.
But right now, our leaders want us to believe only one person has stolen in this country.
Which is untruthful.
Are Kenyans going to buy that story?
They cannot. Actually, I'm a Kenyan. Let me say from my point, because I'm a Kenyan.
Yes.
That is a cheap lie.
Yeah.
Which I cannot buy. In the sense that I have seen so many people do corruption and even being taken to the court.
And nothing happens.
After that, even to the committees in parliament, after that, there is no action that is taken. In fact, some of those people are also going to vie for elective positions.
Yes.
And there are people who have actually been tainted, even in terms of their image, yet they are going to land for offices. So what we are saying is, there are some few things, even if we want to politic, let's bring truthfulness in what we are.
So are you saying that for us as a country to come to the lowest point where we think corruption has only happened through one person, we are actually expressing our disinterest in fighting corruption? We are not interested. Because if we were genuine about fighting corruption, we would not be narrowing it to one person.
Correct.
We would go looking at the governors across the country and all the offices, the Ministry of Health, the KEMSA issues. And then Kenyans would believe that these people talk about corruption genuinely. That's
the thing. By the way, let me tell you. If our government was serious in fighting corruption, we should be hearing people who are saying, let me say, before even I continue. If, for example, you find anybody inviting me to an act of corruption, they already know my character. So many of the leaders, their character is known. That there are people who are corrupt. They can do something to gain and not for any other person. And therefore, if, for example, we don't come strong and we say there are some things that we are not going to tolerate in this country, we'll keep on speaking the same story. By the way, just referring to one person, Kenya is bigger than one person.
That's true.
And therefore, let's not bring some issues which are not going to help the country in moving forward. We must get to a position whereby we are saying corruption is corruption. Whether it happens to with my brother, whether it is my sister, whether it is actually anybody who is in my circles, corruption is corruption. But figuring out one man, it doesn't help this country.
Wow. Okay. We are running out of time. But definitely it's coming out clearly that Kenyans, we should not be duped by politicians to elect a certain leader by vilifying or calling, mudslinging the other contendant. And we should make sure that this story of thieves, these are thieves, the story must stop. Tell us who has been stealing money in the last few years when this man has not been reporting to his office, and we will know you are genuine in your name calling. But Pastor David, all Kenyans, we are entering into the road of going to 2022 where we will be seeking good leaders in all levels. I want you to look at your camera and address Kenyans so that they will be careful not to be duped by lies.
I want to speak to all Kenyans who are watching me, and I want to say that we must be enlightened and get to differentiate the truth and the lie.
Yeah.
In our country right now, there is a lot of things which are not true. And we need to get to a position whereby we are going to tell our leaders that we need Kenya to go forward.
Yeah.
Most of them, they are looking at their own prosperity and not the posterity for our children.
Yeah.
And therefore, we must be careful on the leaders that we are going to put into position come next year. Because if we put the wrong leaders because they are popular, what will happen is at the end of the day, we are going to suffer as Kenyans, but our politicians are going to continue prospering even in the long way. It is a time for us to take a decisive action and our voice to be heard. We must go out there and say we will start with the truth. It doesn't matter. We have some principles, and right now we can make our decisions. We are not going to be influenced by politicians on how we are going to vote. Vote for the right leaders.
Wow. Let's conclude there. Thank you so much, Pastor David. And be sure about this one thing. If you don't have a vote, you cannot elect the leader you want. Go and get a vote. It is remaining 3 days of voter registration. The other thing is in the year 2022, we are not voting for the person shouting the loudest. We are looking for people that have a human face, people that are genuinely caring about the poor people of this country. Right now, people are groaning in very stinking poverty. People have no food to eat. I was hearing a report yesterday about people eating wild fruits in one, I think it's Malindi or Kilifi, someplace. So you can see the trouble that is there. And we must elect people that will alleviate the suffering of our lives. Thank you for watching the Leadership Challenge Show. I believe you will be watching next time. Keep it EBN. Until next time, bye-bye.